guys. I just got a short. Let's start. The fifth day of the third special session of the 21st Congress will now come to order. May we all rise for a moment of silent prayer. Okay, roll call. Chief Clerk.
Senator Aritas, Senator Christian, Senator Figuer, Senator Coland, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Palik, Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Ursmal, Senator Wally, Speaker Semina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 10 members are present.
We have quorum to transact business today. Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to dispense with the reading of the journal.
It's been moved and seconded that we dispense with the reading of the journal. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. We now dispense with the reading of the journal. Next item.
Item 5, Mr. Speaker, presidential communications, there are none.
Continue.
Item 7, member communications, also none. Item 8, departmental communication, we're in receipt of number 21-39.
Read that communication. It's an important one. Sign it, Chief Clerk. Next item.
Item 9, agency or governmental authority communications, none. Item 10, state communications, also none. Item 11, state Supreme Court communications, none. Item 12, municipal or town communications, none. And item 13, foreign government communications, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, order of the day, standing committee report. That's item 14.
There are no reports today, Mr. Speaker.
Short recess subject to call of the chair. Stand. All right. Congress is back in session. Since there's no standing committee report, next item, Chief Clerk.
Item 15, special committee reports, none, Mr. Speaker.
Next item.
Item 16, assignment of measures and communications. We have a referral sheet number 21-33.
Okay, German members, look at those for your planning purposes. Next item.
Item 17, unfinished business, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next item. Bill calendar. First bill.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, the first bill is CP number 21-86 for first reading. CP number 21-86 is a bill for an act to amend Section 3 of Public Law number 21-19 as amended by Public Law number 21-39 to authorize for the purposes of voting on the constitutional amendments, special polling places in Saipan, Hilo, Portland, Seattle, one city in Southern California, one city in Utah, Kansas City, one city in Texas, and one city in Arizona, to add that proposed amendments shall be first in the order of the ballots before the ballots of the candidates for office and for other purposes.
Okay, short recess up to the call of the chair. We Congress is back in session. Vice Speaker Moses, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that we defer action till Monday's session.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that said Bill 21-86 be deferred to next Monday's session. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Said bill is deferred to Monday's session. Okay, next bill, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 21-84 for second reading. CB number 21-84 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 20-178 as amended by Public Laws numbers 21-01, 21-07, 21-36, and 21-53 by amending sections 3 and 4 thereof to change the use of funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for the people of Koshai and Pohnpei states and for other purposes.
Short recess up to the call of the chair. So floor, can you make? Congress is back in session. Floor leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to defer CP number 21-84 to bill calendar for tomorrow.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that CP number 21-84 be deferred to tomorrow's session calendar. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Said bill is deferred to tomorrow's session. Next bill, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 21-87 for second reading. CP number 21-87 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 20-141 as amended by Public Laws numbers 20-145, 20-163, 20-164, 20-190, 21-5, 21-33, and 21-48 by amending sections 4 and 6 thereof to change the use and allotment of funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding priority infrastructure projects and other projects and programs in the state of Pohnpei and for other purposes.
Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the passage of the bill.
It's been moved and seconded that said bill be passed on second and final reading. Discussion.
Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to you and honorable members. I have a minor floor amendment to offer, and I believe this has been distributed to all members. Very minor change of purpose.
Short recess
So moved.
subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. There is an offer for amendment to CB 21-87 by Senator Palik. It's a lengthy one, so we'll dispense with its reading. And Floor Leader Albert. Motion for suspension of rules. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to suspend any relevant rule that may impede our action on the said bill.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that any relevant rules, specifically the rules prohibiting substantive amendments on second and final reading, be suspended. Those in favor of that motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Those relevant rules are suspended. So make your motion for adoption, Palik.
Mr. Speaker, move for the adoption of said amendment. So move.
It's been moved and seconded that the offer for amendments to CB 21-87 by Senator Palik be adopted. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, if there is no objection, debate is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offered floor amendments to CB 21-87, as offered by Senator Palik, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offered floor amendments to CB 21-87 are adopted. We now have CD1. Any further discussion on CD1?
Mr. Speaker.
Vice Speaker Moses.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have an oral amendment to offer on behalf of Senator Christian.
Okay.
And the amendment, I would state orally, but will give the written form to Chief Clerk after.
Go ahead.
Okay, on page 2, line 22, delete Pohnpei Solar/LED lights and insert congressional aid, and in parentheses, field work and services, closed parentheses, in lieu thereof. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
It's been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Vice Speaker Moses on behalf of Senator Christian be adopted. The relevant rules are still suspended. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, if there's no objection, debate is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offered oral amendments by Vice Speaker Moses say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments are adopted. We now have CT Draft 2. Any further discussion on Draft 2? If none, there's no objection. Debate is closed. We will vote by roll call of delegations. Colon will cast a vote for Chuk, and Ned will cast a vote for Pohnpei. Chief Clerk?
State of Chuk, Chairman Colland.
Kanangan Tolu.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Ned. State of Koshai, Chairman Wali. State of Yap, Chairman Ursmal. Mr. Speaker, all the states 4-4.
For that reason, CP number 21-87, CD2 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 21-88 for second reading. CB number 21-88 is a bill for an act to appropriate the sum of $100,000 from the general fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2020, for the purpose of funding relief efforts in Japan due to damage caused by Typhoon Ikabis and for other purposes.
Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the passage of the bill.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CB number 21-88. Short recess to call of the chair. Japan. Congress is back in session. Chairman Figueroa, you have the floor.
Thank you, Speaker. I move that we defer action on the bill to the end of the bill calendar.
It's been moved and seconded that CP number 21-88 be deferred to the end of the calendar today. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Said bill is deferred to the end of the bill calendar. Next bill, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 21-103 for second reading. CP number 21-103, it's a bill for an act to amend Public Law number 20-95 as amended by Public Laws numbers 20-173 and 21-47 by amending Section 5 thereof to change the use of funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for the people of Chuk State and for other purposes.
Short list, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Floor leader.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. I again move to defer bill number CB 21-103 to Monday on bill calendar.
It's been moved and seconded that CP number 21-103 be deferred to our next Monday session. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Said bill is deferred to next Monday session. Next bill, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 21-101 for second reading. CB number 21-101 is a bill for an act to amend Public Law number 20-155 as amended by Public Laws numbers 20-177 and 20-188 by amending Section 2 thereof for the purpose of changing the use of funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for the people of Yap and for other purposes.
Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 21-101. Discussion. Any discussion? Why are you bringing remains from PI, Chairman Ursumo? Why are you bringing remains from Philippines? You don't have human, so you're trafficking in remains?
Well, we, like all of the rest of us, we pay more attention to dead people than we do when they're sick. So that's what we're trying to do here. The purpose is to increase the amount that they can use for transportation of remains of insured and uninsured referral patients who didn't make it back alive, but they still have 60,000 that they can use for the other purpose stated in the bill. They're running out of the 20,000 that was initially appropriated, so that's the purpose, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Any other discussion? If none, there's no objection. Debate is closed. So let's vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk.
State of Chuk, Chairman Kulant.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Ned. State of Kushai, Chairman Wali. State of Yap, Chairman Ursmal. Mr. Speaker, 4 states, 4 to 4.
CB number 21-101 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 21-91 CD1 for second reading. CP number 21-91, CD1. It's a bill for an act to appropriate the sum of $800,000 from the general fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2020, for the purpose of funding the purchase of vessels and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Figueroa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading, CP number 21-91, CD1.
Speaker,
Discussion? Yes, Senator Figueroa.
I have an oral amendment that I wish to offer, but let me ask for a short recess.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still discussing CP number 21-91, CD1. Vice Speaker Moses.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have an amendment to offer on behalf of Senator Christian. I think it's been printed and distributed, so may I ask the Chief Clerk to please read the said amendment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move.
Yes, it's been moved and seconded that the offer for amendment to CB 21-91, CD1, offered by Vice Speaker Moses on behalf of Senator Christian, because of its length, which is short. Chief Clerk, read it into the record.
Mr. Speaker, we have a floor amendment to CP number 21-91, CD1, offered by Vice Speaker Moses on behalf of Senator Peter and Christian. Item 1 of the amendment on page 1 in the title, line 1, delete the figure 800,000 and insert the figure 500 in lieu thereof, or 500,000 in lieu thereof. Item 2 of the amendment on page 1, line 1, delete the figure 800,000 and insert 500,000 in lieu thereof. And item 3, page 1, line 8, delete the figure 300,000 and insert the figure 0 in lieu thereof.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress back in session. We're still discussing the offered floor amendments, and the relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. Any further discussion? If none, there's no objection. Debate is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offered floor amendments to CB 21-91 CD1, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offered amendments are adopted. We now have CD2. Any further discussion on draft 2? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by delegations. Chief Clerk.
State of Chuuk, Chairman Collins.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Ed. State of Kushai, Chairman Wali. State of Yap, Chairman Ursmal. Mr. Speaker, all the 4 states voted for.
CB number 21-91 CD2 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have 21-98 for second reading. CB number 21-98 is a bill for an act to prohibit the importation, sale, or distribution of one item or one-time use disposable styrofoam and plastic food service items and plastic shopping packs by enacting a new Chapter 4 of Title 25 of the Code of the Federated States of Micronesia as annotated and as amended and for other purposes.
Okay, should read subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're on 21-98. Vice Speaker Moose.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To accommodate the consultations with the states and a much better look at the bill along with public hearings, I would assume that will be taken up by the Special Committee on Climate Change. I move that the bill be deferred to the next session of Congress.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that CP number 21-98 be deferred to the next session of Congress. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Said Bill 21-98 is deferred to the next session of Congress. Next bill, Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 21-104 for second reading. CB number 21-104 is a bill for an act to amend sections 1, 2, 3, 8, and 9, 3, 8, 9, and 12 of Public Law number 21-42 to appropriate $2,305,200 of additional funds from the General Fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2020, to provide supplemental funding for the operations of the national government of the Federated States of Micronesia, various programs, grants, subsidies, and contributions, and capital and human resources development to change the allotment of certain funds previously appropriated and for other purposes.
Chairman Figueroa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move for the passage of Congress Bill number 21-104 on second and final.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 21-104. Discussion. Any discussion?
Speaker.
Floor leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a written amendment, which I believe has already been duplicated and distributed. And if I may not be out of order, Mr. Speaker, I move for its adoption.
It's been moved and seconded that the offer for amendments to CP number 21-104 offered by Floor Leader Harbor be adopted. Because of its length, we will dispense with its reading, and the relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. Okay, discussion on the offered for amendments.
Speaker.
Floor Leader Harbor, explain yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just simply want to say that I'm offering the amendment with a sense of guilt, because I know many of the elementary school on Wena will be asking as to why Congress is appropriating an assistance to only St. Cecilia School. But I hope and believe that the other schools would understand one of the Bible verse, which says, "Seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you, and ask and you would be given." So I believe St. Cecilia met the biblical principle or requirements. That's why they're fortunate at this time. And my apology to the rest of the school on when. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker,
Thank you, Floor Leader Harbor. Senator Palik first, and Chairman Figueroa. Senator Palik, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Am I in order to make a minor floor amendment?
To the pending amendment that we're discussing,
No, not the pending amendment.
you wait your turn. You'll come after. Okay, Chairman Figueroa.
yeah, I just wish to supplement what the good floor leader said. If the money is appropriated, I don't think it's St. Cecilia School will only use it should be the bus as far as it's funded by public funds. The bus could also be shared by other students, and I hope that they look at it that way. I think there is a definite failure on our states to tap on the education sector grants. And I again urge the people in the Department of Education to do their job diligently and be able to tap all the money that has been given to us under the compact grants, unless they say it's not available for students. I understand that this is a private school, but we're assisting for the benefits of the students of the state of Truk, those who live in Bueno. Hopefully someday we'll get a ship for the other students that live on the outer islands. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still discussing the Albert floor amendments to CB 21-104, offered by Floor Leader Harbor. Any further discussion? If none, if there's no objection, debate is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the Albert floor amendments to CB number 21-104, offered by Floor Leader Harbor, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offered floor amendments are adopted. We now have CD1.
Speaker, Speaker,
Colin, then Orsama.
thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Colin.
If I may not be out of order, Mr. Speaker, I have a floor amendment to the shade pin on 21 St. Bill. It's been printed and distributed to members. Move to offer that adopting the floor amendment. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Short recess subject to call of the chair.
Mr. Speaker, before we go on, I don't think this
Congress is back in session. There is an overflow amendment to CB number 21-104 CD1, offered by Chairman Quillen. It's a very short one, and we will have the chief clerk read it into the record. And the relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. Chief clerk?
Mr. Speaker, we have a floor amendment to CB number 21-104 CD1, offered by Senator Victor Coland. The only item on this amendment is on page 4, line 16, delete the figure 1,665,000 and 1,665,204 and insert 1,672,214.
Okay, there you have it. Discussion. Questions been called for. If there's no objection, debate is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the offered floor amendment to CB 21-104 CD1 offered by Chairman Cullen, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offer for amendments to CB 21-104 CD1 are adopted. We now have draft 2. Any further discussion on draft 2? Chairman
Speaker.
Fakir? Chairman Ursumal?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I thought I heard the chairman of Ways and Means saying after the amendments made by the previous ones and myself, so I will offer one. It's already been printed and duplicated and distributed, so I therefore move for the adoption of the proposed floor amendments.
So recess.
Any second? It's been moved and seconded that the offer for amendment to CB number 21-104 CD2 offered by the one and only Chairman Ursumal be adopted. It's quite lengthy, so we'll dispense with its reading, and the relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. So discussion. Any discussion on the offered floor amendments?
Speaker,
Yes, Chairman Cullen.
thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I need to educate myself on the amendment offered by my co-chairman on E.
Oh yes, he's a good educator. He's chairman of Education Committee. So please educate Chairman Cullen.
Well, from what I understand, looking at the paper in front of me, the attempt here is to reduce further some line items in the supplemental budget to leave some money around for a typhoon, these diseases that are visiting us, and for rainy days, including but not limited to the purchase of vessel. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chairman Ursumal. Are you educated enough?
Not really, Mr. Speaker. The Finance Committee meeting after the session yesterday or before yesterday, we have understanding and agreed on whatever that in the supplement. And that is why one of the members is being willing to volunteer to redeem his share to accommodate some of the needs.
Okay, so any further discussion on the offered floor amendment by
Speaker,
Ursumal? Yes,
I move to defer the floor amendment to tomorrow.
Second.
it's moved and seconded that only said amendment, offer for amendment be deferred to tomorrow's short recess subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Chairman Ned, you still have the floor.
Thank you, Speaker. I withdraw my motion.
There's no objection. The motion is withdrawn. We're still discussing the offered for amendment by Chairman Ursumal. Any further discussion? If none,
Short recess, Speaker.
short recess, subject to call of the chair. Session, there's no further discussion. Debate is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offered floor amendment by Chairman Ursumal, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no.
No.
Sorry, your amendment is not adopted, yes. Okay. Let's continue discussion on CD2. Any further discussion? Short recess. You haven't. Congress back in session. Make your motion, Chairman Figueroa.
Thank you, Speaker. I move that Congress Bill 21-104 be deferred to tomorrow's calendar.
It's moved and seconded that CB number 21-104, CD2, be deferred to tomorrow's calendar. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Bill number 21-104, CD2 is deferred to tomorrow's session. Okay, next bill, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 21-97 for second reading. CP number 21-97 is a bill for an act to further amend Section 208 of Title II of the Code of the Federal States of Micronesia as annotated, as amended by Public Laws Numbers 18-53 and 20-99, to clarify that all who serve in an acting capacity for a certain period of time must be compensated, and for other purposes.
Okay,
Speaker,
Chairman Fakir?
move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 21-97. Discussion. Chairman
Speaker,
Fakir?
I rise in support of this bill to eliminate slavery in this nation and make sure that our Constitution protect the rights of the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman Fakir.
Speaker.
I read your mind, but I was not going to. But go
Well,
ahead.
yeah, I like to talk about the supplemental, but since we were on 97, again, I ask my question. How is this bill gonna make those people who are in acting position for over 90 days get paid? Where is the teeth in this bill? And to me, that is how it's supposed to be done in the first place. We already passed a bill, an act, and a law that requires this. I don't know why it's not being done, and I don't know if this bill here is going to make it work. So can anybody, even if they're not from Education Committee, educate me as to how this bill is going to really make the executive branch pay overtime for their employees that are doing overtime or in acting positions?
Speaker,
Chairman
Yes,
Fakir, help out?
I'm the most uninformed member of this Congress, but as I said, our Constitution does not allow, prohibits slavery. So when somebody work for you or the government, you must compensate him for the labor that he put in. To put the teeth in, I hope the next Congress, when the head of a department refuses, then we just take the money from out of his travel or operation and pay these guys. That's simple.
And in addition, what we know is that it's an issue of interpretation of the law. That's why a few were not given, because they claim, or at least personnel claim that they're not entitled pursuant to that interpretation. And we sought their assistance, including TOJ, Foreign Affairs personnel, and this is the very language they want us to put in so that they may be able to pay it out.
Yeah, but Speaker, I think the problem goes back to the supervisor and the head of the department. You cannot see somebody performing a job and ignore him. You gotta compensate him.
Yes,
Otherwise,
of
that
course,
falls
yeah.
under the slavery.
I think.
That's true. Chairman William?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the issue they were raising in the past for not paying those employees was that exempt positions were not allowed to get compensation for acting positions.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, this bill will clear that up. Okay, any further discussion on the bill? If none, there's no objection. Debate is closed, so let's vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk.
State of Chuk, Chairman Colland. State of Pohnpei, Chairman Ned. State of Koshai, Chairman Wali. State of Yap, Chairman Rosemao. Mr. Speaker, all the four states voted for.
For that reason, CP number 21-97 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 21-102, City 1, for second reading, CB number 21-102, CD1. It's a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 20-92, as amended by Public Laws numbers 20-124, 20-161, 20-171, and 21-41, by amending sections 4 and 5 thereof to change the use of funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for the people of Pohnpei and Truk states and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Figure.
So move.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading, CP number 21-102, CD1. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Debate is closed. Let's vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk?
State of Truk, Chairman Coland. State of Pohnpei, Chairman Ned. State of Koshai, Chairman Wali. State of Yap, Chairman Ursmal. Mr. Speaker, all the 4 states voted in favor.
CB number 21-102, CD1 has passed Congress on second and final reading.
Speaker,
We're still on the bill calendar. Next bill, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we're on CP number 21-88, which was moved to the end of the calendar. CP number 21-88 is a bill for an act to appropriate the sum of $100,000 from the general fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2020, for the purpose of funding relief efforts in Japan due to damage caused by Typhoon Ekapis and for other purposes.
Chairman Figure.
move for the passage of the bill.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress pass CP number 21-90.
Figure.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress back in session.
Speaker.
21-88, yes, that's the bill. Okay, motion for adoption of a passage, you've done it, huh? Okay. All right, discussion.
Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Ursula.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's not anything to do with budget, but I have some correction phrases that, on the bill, and I wish to offer it orally, if you would allow me, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
Thank you. Page 1, in the title, line 4, delete Typhoon Higibis and insert in lieu thereof recent typhoons. Page 1, line 5, delete the phrase Typhoon Higibis and insert in lieu thereof recent typhoons. Page 1, line 8, delete Higibis. Iwa. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Chairman Ursimo be adopted, and relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. Any discussion on the offered oral amendments? Discussion? Questions being called for. If there's no objection, debate is closed. Let's vote on the offered oral amendments. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments are adopted. We now have CD1. Okay, any further discussion on CD1? questions been called for. If there's no objection, debate is closed. So let's vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk.
State of Chuk, Chairman Colon.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Nath. State of Koshai, Chairman Wali. State of Yap, Chairman Orsmal. Mr. Speaker, all the 4 states voted in favor.
CB number 21-88 CD1 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Any other appeal? Chief
Speaker.
Clerk? Chief Clerk, any other appeal?
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, we're still on the appeal calendar. Yes, Chairman Figuer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to place Congress Bill 21-107 on the bill calendar for action.
It's been moved and seconded that CB number 21-107 be withdrawn from committee and placed on the appeal calendar for first reading action. The relevant rules are still suspended at this point. Okay. Let's vote. Those in favor of that motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. So CB number 21-107 has been withdrawn from committee and placed on the bill calendar for first reading action. Okay, Chairman Figuer.
Move that Congress pass on first reading Congress Bill number 21-107.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CP number 21-107. Chief Clerk, read the title.
Mr. Speaker, CB number 21-107 is a bill for an act to appropriate the sum of $50,000 from the general fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2020, for the purpose of funding relief efforts in the independent state of Samoa due to the recent measles outbreak and for other purposes.
Okay, there you have it. Discussion. Any discussion? None. There is no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of members. Chief Clerk, first reading.
Senator Auritos, Senator Christian, Senator Figuer, Senator Coolant, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Nath, Senator Palik, Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Ursmal, Senator Wally, Speaker Semina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 10 members voted for the bill, first reading.
For that reason, CP number 21-107 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
None, Mr. Speaker.
Point
Okay.
of privilege, Mr. Speaker.
State your point, floor.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I simply want to ask the intelligence of this Congress to join me in welcoming and recognizing all our citizens who are observing our session this morning. Let's give them a hand.
Thank you, floor
Thank you.
leader. Any other point of privilege? If none, next item, Chief Clerk.
Item 19, Mr. Speaker, resolution calendar.
Point of clarification.
Yes, state your point.
I just need to be clarified as to the nomination resolution on Mr. Eliezer. I thought the motion was to defer it to today.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session, so we're now on the resolution calendar. If there is none, next item.
Mr. Speaker, move to withdraw CR 21-85 and place on calendar for, resolution calendar for action, 21-85.
Any second? It's been moved and seconded that resolution number 21-85 be withdrawn from committee and placed on the resolution calendar for action. Short recess, to the call of the chair. Congress is back in session. You have the floor, Senator Palik.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to withdraw my motion for the adoption of CR 21-85. So move.
If there is no objection, the motion to withdraw and place CR number 21-85 has been withdrawn from the sponsor of that motion. So, any other resolution, Chief Clerk?
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. There is no further business on the resolution calendar. Item 20.
Mr. Speaker, introduction on bills and resolutions.
Okay, if you have any measure to introduce, pass them on to Chief Clerk for introduction. Next item.
Item 21, miscellaneous communications, when receipt of number 21-14.
That is assigned to Chairman Coolant. Okay, if there is no further business on that, item 22, miscellaneous business. Do you have any miscellaneous business? If none, let's go to announcement. I just want to make some more food tonight at Truck Stop, hosted by the Southern Navajo region by Senator Conman. Tomorrow, also at 6 p.m. at Curacao, hosted by Orthodox Development Authority floor leader. Okay? So
Spear.
by the time we go back to Pohnpei, we'll be all partied out.
Spear,
Okay.
let me just try to clarify the announcement
Sure.
for Mita. The dinner that will be hosted is not from Mita, but it's from the Morlocks leadership. So you are and myself included in that.
Okay, I stand to be corrected. Why should I shy away from that? Yeah, I don't mind being included as a host of that. Okay. Any announcement?
Speaker, in furtherance of that, I would like to encourage all members, the members of the cabinet member at the executive branch in Pelican, and all other officials of the state, members of the legislature, please do come, because the belly poo-poo dancer from legislature will be coming also. So come, please.
Okay, there you have it. Who likes to miss those kind of party? Okay, Chairman Willie, announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No announcement from the Committee on External Affairs. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Willie. Chairman Figure. Thank you, Chairman Ned.
No announcement, Speaker, thank you.
Okay, Chairman Coolan.
Thank you, Speaker. Your committee on TNC would have a hearing today at 4 at Truck Stop, and for the nominee, and for all the citizens of Wara, they are invited to the Southern Namorias dinner. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting your constituents to the Southern Navajo party.
Who pays?
Chairman Coleman, any announcement?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. No announcement from your Special Committee on Climate Change and Environment.
Okay, Chairman Urusamal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We're still, your Committee on Education is still starting.
Okay, keep standing. Okay, Vice Speaker Moses, you have any? Senator Balik, any announcement? Okay, floor leader, any announcement and your usual motion for tomorrow, huh?
So, Speaker, as our announcement, I move that we stand in recess until 10 a.m. tomorrow.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress stand in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Those in favor of that motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Congress now stands in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning.